My name is Kennedy NG, and I am very happy to present to you tonight the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, which will be an option for the community to know the good things that happen in this beautiful city.
The city of Union City, a cosmopolitan city where almost all of us have seen each other. We are like a large family that through the management of our representatives, they help our citizens. And our people do volunteer work because they know that the city is run by a mayor who has shown that he is not the common politician, but that he works for his community. This program is an extension of information where we are going to have participation of personalities from the public and private sectors so that they can keep us informed of the community. May that be educational activities and everything that benefits us.
Good evening, Union City, the Dream City. Tonight we have a very special guest, Superintendent of Union City District School, Ms. Abbato, Silvia Abbato. Tonight, this is a very educational program which Silvia will be talking about education projects and the challenges of education in Union City. Good evening, Ms. Abbato.
Good evening, Mr. NG.
It is a pleasure to have you tonight here, and I know you have a very special information about education. For me, it's an honor to have you. I know you have a very tough schedule. It's an honor.
Thank you, Kennedy. If I could call you Kennedy, the honor is mine. I've been watching all the different programs, and I hope I provide the necessary information for our community.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and for the community of Union City, the Dream City, Union City, New Jersey, sometimes we think that we know everything and we take it for granted. But with a person like you, I think the community will have the information that maybe they know or maybe they don't know. So I will ask you a couple of questions.
Absolutely.
Can you talk a little bit about you?
My name is Silvia Abbato, and I came to this country when I was 9 years old with my twin sister, because I'm a twin, and my parents. And my parents had their doctorates in education, but like every immigrant, my dad became a driver for a daycare, and my mother worked in a factory. And at night, they would go to, at that time, the Montclair Teachers College, which is now Montclair University, until they got the certification here. My mom became a teacher in the New York City schools and the Newark schools. And my dad, he worked in Union City as a teacher and then later as a counselor.
So now I know that these little things in your blood about teaching comes from the family.
Absolutely. It's you know what? I think it's a passion. And they were wonderful role models for both my sister and I of how to change lives. And that's what made us great educators and to care about the community and care about our children.
That's very good to know. Every guest that I have here in our program, The Dream City, to know the background, family background, and educational background. Because sometimes we know people and we don't imagine the capacity of people that we talk to every day.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? Everyone has their struggles, and education is the key to be successful. I was a teacher, then I became a district science and math supervisor. Then I became a principal of a school, Hudson School on 19th Street. And it's a school that, you know Hudson School as a board member. It's a beautiful little school, but at that time...
I love it.
It's a great area, but we had no cafeteria, no gym, no library, and we became a Title I Distinguished National School.
What year did you start as a teacher?
Oh, wow. 1979.
That's good. You're still very young. Talk about educational background.
I went to Jersey City State College, which is now NJCU. I got there my certification as principal, administrator, supervisor, and I'm also certified in bilingual ESL education, which I think is very important for the community.
Silvia, I'm going to ask you this. How you define a typical day at work? I know being the superintendent, I imagine, is thousands of things to do daily. Can you just talk a little bit about it?
To be honest, Kennedy, there is no typical day. You start out with your list of to-do things and you try to address as many as possible, but it's not typical. There are emergencies that come up and you try to deal with them ethically at a sustained type of effort where it's equitable for everyone. You spend your time with state reports, grants, working with administrators. I try to get to the schools as much as possible because that's where the hard work takes place,
Right.
in the schools. With the pandemic, certain things have had to be reviewed, looking at CDC guidelines, etc. So, there is no typical day. It changes day to day.
I imagine in being so busy and having all this schools, under your shoulder, it's not an easy job to do.
Yeah, it's not an easy job to do, but as you know, as a board member,
And I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
You are doing a very great job, exceptional job.
Thank you.
I can
Kenny.
tell you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support and your amazing job as a board member at the board. The board members have been phenomenal through this pandemic. You yourself have been part of many task forces that have helped us tremendously during these difficult times.
As a member of the Board of Trustees of Union City, I can tell you that every time that I need something for the benefits of the kids of Union City, when I call you, you call me immediately. Not even 3 minutes that you call back. And I really appreciate that. Everything that we do in education in Union City, and is for the benefit of our community.
Absolutely. And I think the partnership that we have, first with our mayor, state senator, Brian
Exactly.
Stack, with the board members, it's everyone working together as a community. It's important. It's important. And I know over the years you have given me many suggestions that we have implemented, which are valuable. We always need to strive to get better. And I appreciate that.
Thank you. Silvia, the last 3 years, and have been very tough with the COVID-19. Can you tell me how the Union City School District has managed these 3 years of this pandemic?
We've done very well. I think that we are a leading district once again, even though there was a pandemic. But we looked at science. We're dealing again with the CDC guidelines, with the health department, working with our mayor and state senator, working with the New Jersey Department of Ed, and you could see the numbers going progressively higher. I remember we had a meeting with senior administration, and I spoke to all of them and gave them a task to make sure they each had a complement of their departments and beginning to get ready in case what we call pivot to virtual instruction.
Right.
I know board members like yourself, Kennedy, were part of task forces to guide us because it was unknown for everyone. And we came together, everyone had plans, and I remember making the announcement. I'll never forget, it was Friday the 13th,
It was
March 13th.
Yes.
It was very difficult.
And I was going to ask you about if you remember the first day.
I remember the first
personally,
day.
what was the impact you calling the members of the boards and the community, the students, that we have to close the school?
It was very difficult, and I never expected that we would be closed so long. You expected like a snowstorm, maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, but not 2 years of constant, complete shutdown. It was something that we did our best. We actually gave, as a district, I think we did more than our best. I think we did exceptionally well. We purchased over 6,000 Chromebooks for the students. We delivered food to the community, and it was my decision to have food deliveries once a week for 7 days because we didn't know if this was airborne. And
that's more than excellent. In having computers for all the students, and I know at the beginning, it was very hard, but I think that you did a good job on that.
Thank you, Kennedy. Because we gave out hotspots for free internet for those families that did not have internet. We provided virtual instruction, And it was a community between the parent liaisons calling the homes, the SRO police officers visiting the homes to make sure everyone was well. The teachers did a phenomenal job as well. And the board members, very supportive. We worked in conjunction with the mayor. I think what the mayor did early on with the testing sites and the vaccination sites helped us to get
It was
better.
super.
It was superb. I think that helped us as a
And
district.
that's why we call this program the Dream City. Union City is a family.
Yes.
And it's not a secret. We all mean it's a family.
It's a work together.
It's working together.
If I tell you it's a great title for your show, The Dream City, someone referred to Union City as the sunny side of the streets. And it's true.
Right.
You see the community, everyone supporting each other, the board members being advocates in the community for the district.
How is the relationship with the members of the Board of Trustees?
It's a wonderful Board of Education. I'm honored to work with all the board members, including yourself.
Thank you.
That you've been on the board for many, many years.
Many years.
It's an evolving type of education that you see it, how it's changing. But I think the constant is the fact that it's an appointed board. The mayor takes it seriously and appoints members that truly care about the city. They truly care about the education. And that's a great credit to all of us, including the mayor. We don't have any charter schools in Union City because people are happy with the educational system. And I think it's a credit to the board members that people don't realize it's not a paid position. You guys put in a lot of long hours away from your family and friends. You know how some...
And I am glad you mentioned that because a lot of people, and I don't blame them, they believe the members of different boards in the city, we get paid. We do it because we feel to do it, because we believe in the administration. We believe that helping the future, which are our students, we giving something to the society.
That's right. That's right. It's people don't realize that when you have a great education, it's not only impacts the individual student, but their family and the community for years to come. And I think it's a wonderful role that the board members play. They're in it for the long haul and supporting the district.
That's good to know, Silvia. Let me ask you this. This is very important for the community to know, for the parents, and for me as a member. Statistically, what is the quality range of Union City School District in the state of New Jersey? If you can tell me a little bit about it.
As much as possible. Pre-pandemic, because there was no testing during the pandemic, but pre-pandemic, it's a performance report established by the state of New Jersey. I would say we are the premier school district, urban school district in the state of New Jersey, sometimes scoring number 1 or number 2 in the areas of language arts and math across the board. We are 97% Hispanic. We have 85% that receive free and reduced lunch. We have, I would say, around 30% of our students are part of the bilingual program, a very successful bilingual program. And I would say another 12% with special needs. So in spite of those statistics, we are doing extremely well.
Very good to know. Can I ask you about, the Union City as in the Hudson County is a large percentage of Hispanic community. Do you think that you being the superintendent and being bilingual, that have helped you in, to do the job?
I think it has helped me tremendously because I feel the struggles. I feel the struggles that the community has. As a Latino female, first Latina female superintendent of the Union City Schools, I am proud to serve. I represent the
And I am
community.
proud to see a lady
Absolutely.
like you just serving as
Thank you.
the superintendent.
Thank you, Kennedy, for all your support, the board members' support, the mayor, the commissioners. I think you mentioned it before, you touched upon it. It's a community, everyone working together. We have had an exemplary school district, and we're just going to get better. We have a lot of innovative programs, whether it's STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math in the lower grades.
That's good.
Students
That's good to
programming
know.
with robots. We also have a lot of technology, Promethean boards, the latest. I think our schools and our students deserve the best. They deserve the best education that we can provide for them. And I think we're making a great impact. We've had visitors come to our district from Chicago, from New York, from California.
Wow.
Sometimes international visitors from Sweden and Norway. And
We
from,
have to feel good about it.
oh, we feel very proud. As a matter of fact, there's a book that Dr. David Kerp, he spent a year and a half with us in our schools.
I remember.
And the book is called Improbable Scholars. And that book, Kennedy, is used in places such as Columbia University because what happens is it's a blueprint of how to improve instruction. And we're proud. We're proud that, there is no secret. It's called hard work. And every day taking a different step. We have an exceptional early childhood program that your children went through. And, I feel that that's the foundation for building a house. When you build a house, you build it on concrete.
Exactly.
So if you have a good early childhood program, which we do, our little ones leave kindergarten reading and writing, which was unheard of years ago.
Look, Silvia, a lot of people tell me, Kennedy, why you are doing this program, this show every week? And people know that I'm very busy every day. But doing this program, we are educating the community.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say educating, it is because we cannot think that everybody knows what we are doing. I feel so proud doing it, and I feel so proud having guests just like you.
Thank you, Kennedy. I feel the same way. I feel honored. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's important. This show should continue because it shows our community all the hard work that goes behind the scenes.
Do you remember the first days being the superintendent? And I know the previous superintendent was a magnificent gentleman, Mr. Sanger. And then you come to the club as a superintendent. Do you remember the first challenges that you had in the past? If you remember.
I would say the hardest challenge was COVID and closing the schools and knowing how important it was for our students to get back to normalcy as soon as possible. That was the biggest challenge. We've had some difficulties.
It was something new.
It was something new. People were afraid. Staff was afraid. Everyone was afraid. And like I said, we decided to give out the food once a week because you limit that exposure of people going out. But what a wonderful opportunity our district provided in the fact that families didn't have to worry about going to the supermarket.
The district did very good, and being something new for the entire planet. Mm-hmm. It was not an easy task.
It wasn't. And I think and again, a credit to the mayor because I believe with the mask wearing mandate in the city and the vaccines, it played a big role. Something that we're being proactive. And as a board member, Kennedy, we were chosen by the White House and the state of New Jersey with the test to stay. It's a pilot
that's
program.
an A+.
That's an A+. And we received 15,000 test kits for free from the federal government. I think it's something that we will be giving out now. So parents test the students before they come back from the Easter vacation. And it's an extra layer of protection for everyone. And
exactly.
That's what keeps Union City.
In today's day, do you see any major challenge for the Union City District School?
I think the challenge is, and again, we always like to be proactive. The challenge is the bilingual population that's coming in from Central and South America. These were children that did not have the luxury of having technology in the homes and having virtual instruction. So it was difficult for them to come in now to a whole new program. We're giving them the support that they need, and we're providing the services to the families. We have an excellent parent program as well to provide them the support as all of us as immigrants received.
That's good to know. As a member of the board, you can count with me in anything that will be for the benefit of the students in general, Hispanics, Americans, from anywhere. I mean, it's equally education for everybody.
It's true. I remember when I came as an immigrant, I was a product of Union City Schools. I went to Edison School. At that time, there was no bilingual program. There was no ESL program. And I remember
It was hard.
It was very hard, and I remember the teacher sat a girl next to me. Her name, I'll never forget her name, Angelina, because they figured Italian and Spanish the same thing.
The same.
So that year I learned Italian. So I'm trilingual.
Wow.
So io parlo italiano molto bene because I had to survive.
Trilingual.
Trilingual, you had to survive. So I had to learn Italian first to be able to communicate with Angelina so she could translate it to the teacher.
By that time, how was the lunch? It was Hispanic, Latinos food, or was...
It was terrible. It was terrible. And
no rice and beans.
No rice and beans, no chicken nuggets.
Oh my God.
No
What's
pizza.
boring?
It was boring. It was probably like a cold cheese sandwich. And, it was hard. It was hard to adjust. So I'm sensitive to the community because I want the best for Union City students. And I think the schools should be the most fabulous place that any student goes to. And they would love to come to school every day.
That's what I mean by history, education. We didn't know all these things that you are saying. The food was boring, and boring for us because we came from Latin backgrounds, and we expect to eat what we like to eat. But today's day is much different now.
Oh, much different. The quality of the food is exceptional. As a matter of fact, we have now in our schools hydroponic labs where we grow more fruits and vegetables, and then they do culinary arts in the high school where they take those organic elements and they cook. So those are the things of preparing for the future.
That's great to know. And let me ask you the last question. In what capacity Mayor Stack, that we know he is pro-education, he is like hand-to-hand helping the community, the schools, and bringing funds for the school system with your support, how that work? How is that relationship?
We have an outstanding relationship. I consider him a personal friend. He cares about the community. Our mayor, state senator, fights for our community each and every day in the Senate as well, which is a big help. Under his leadership, we have built 9 schools, which are very much needed, state-of-the-art schools, and that funding has been basically from the School Development Agency in the state of New Jersey, no cost to the Union City taxpayers. And I think with a leader like the mayor, Brian, as we all call him, he has done an amazing job, and he truly cares. He
doesn't like us to call the mayor, no, Brian, because he's a friend.
He's a friend.
It's a family.
He's a friend, and he truly cares. He truly cares about the community. He has helped us through difficult times where students have had accidents, fires, some have passed away. He has helped that people don't realize how far he goes with burials and paying for funerals, etc., which is truly needed. You never forget. You never forget that. Yeah, me too. And as a parent, if you have to bury your child, that is the most horrific thing that takes place. And the mayor, Brian, has helped tremendously. He's a big supporter of the school system, and he fights for us in Trenton each and every day.
In a way, it's a blessed for the Union City community and for the students to have a mayor who really cares about everything in the community, especially the students.
Yes, and a credit to the mayor is people are moving into Union City for the school system. And good schools are good politics because you want people to come into schools and build and move into the community, and you see the community thriving, where other neighborhoods and other nearby towns are not as lucky as we are.
Good. Silvia, anything that you can add for the community to know?
I think honesty and hard work is a credit that we all have as superintendent, and everyone, whether it's a parent, it's students, support our schools, be proactive, work with us. We've been partners for years. We want to continue being partners for years and supporting each other. It's a community, and if there's anything that we can do to get better, please let us know, because we're constantly striving to be innovative, to have the latest technology, to have the greatest nutrients in the lunch programs. But if there's anything that they would like to see in our schools, to let us know and work with us. Be true partners with us.
Very good. So the community, if they need information, they can call you?
They can call my office. They can send emails to the website, to the Union City website. They can reach out to their children's principal as well in the schools, the parent liaisons. We are a community. We are very visible, and we have programs. We'll be having a program at the April meeting celebrating all of our athletes.
Good to know.
And
I'll be there.
You'll be there, absolutely. And we've had students receive top scholarships for prestigious universities such as MIT, Caltech, and these universities, we've had 9 Bill and Melinda Gates Scholars. That's up to $1 million per scholarship. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
That's a lot of funding.
Wow. Good to know, Silvia. Really, thank you for coming, taking the time to come to the Dream City every Sunday at 7 p.m. Union City, the Dream City, New Jersey. I really appreciate that you took the time. A very educational conversation, information that the community should know.
Thank you, Kennedy. I look forward to working with you for many years to come. Thank you for the role that you play in our district, and thank you for allowing me to share this information with our community.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.